Good morning, the wonderful people of YouTube. I apologise if I sound a bit groggy. I've just woken up, but I thought I would take you through sort of another full day of eating / day in a lifestyle thing, with the day that I do cardio and some other additional things that I didn't do in the previous video. So cardio's gone up, so it's still 3 days a week, but now we're at 300 calories per session, which normally takes me about I think it took 25 minutes yesterday, 25 minutes on Sunday. So that's not a massive amount of time, but it definitely gets the blood going and sweat starting. So it's a great way to start the day, even though it doesn't feel like it when you wake up. It's a little bit earlier than I would normally wake up. But my body's just been waking me up earlier and earlier. I think that's something that happens to people during prep. So I'm not really sure what to think about that. Sleep's been a bit iffy the last couple of days. It's a combination of stress, and then I think that there's something wrong with my bed, which obviously doesn't help. Right, every time I lie on it, I'm just being stabbed with the springs. So I think I need a new bed, or a new mattress specifically, but that's not been helpful. And then it's been kind of stressful. I had that paper due on Tuesday that I started writing in the previous video. That went off just about on time, so I caused myself more stress than needed there. But hey, that's part of it. Got it done. Well, that was the main thing. So yeah, hopefully that comes back okay. Something that I have sort of been doing recently to help with sleep is these nose strips. Yeah, I thought that it was a lot of rubbish, but to be honest, they have actually been helping me get better breathing. It's not like it's drastically changed anything, but I do notice a difference when I put them on, which is actually kind of cool. And it's something that I wasn't really expecting, to be honest. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend necessarily going for like the super expensive ones. I've seen people with the magnets and crap. I'm sure people have seen the advert with the guys breathing through his nose and all of a sudden it fixes it. It's not like that, but this definitely does just allow a little bit better sleep. Yeah, I actually would recommend these. I got a ridiculous deal at Boots for these. They do go pretty quick, just because you have to use a new one every day, but it's not bad. It was a little experiment, but I think I actually will stick with using these. I don't normally just keep them on for cardio, just because they help with breathing, and cardio is obviously pretty breathing intensive. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop procrastinating and just get cracking on with some fun on the elliptical. That is 25 minutes and 24 seconds to hit 300 calories. I prefer cardio being attributed to calories because it's much easier to keep it as consistent as possible. Plus it also pushes me time-wise. So I knew that it would take me 25 minutes from the previous 2 goes. So my goal is always to hit 25. Whereas say if my goal was 25 minutes, I'm not sure if I would push calories in exactly the same way, just because it's harder to regulate that stuff. I know some people dictate the time based off of heart rate. I don't really do that. I try and keep my heart rate in the average 140. So for that, my average heart rate was 142. The range being 122 and 166. 166 is a little bit too much. You probably want it between like 120 and 150. So what I used to do was I used to just come on here and do 20 minutes. It used to take me about, to be honest, I think I did about 200 calories in about 25 minutes when I started with Fit. And that was just because I thought cardio is cardio. Like, it's not as if you're
you're having to really push it, you're just trying to get your body moving. But if you actually want to lose body fat, like, this is flipping important. Sure, training is important for muscle retention, but in terms of just getting expenditure, like, this is vital. So yeah, I know some people can get away with doing preps where they just do steps. To be honest, I actually quite like doing this. Like, we had this in 3 times a week in the off season, and now we have it still 3 times a week now, and my steps have gone up since then. So it's not as if cardio is an absolute necessity, but to be honest, I'd rather do this than add another 2,000 steps. So yeah, I think that there's something that can be taken from that. It's not to say that there's a right or a wrong way of doing it, but this is the way that definitely works for me. I am sweaty as a mofo, so yeah, I don't fancy sitting down and eating in these sweaty clothes. So yeah, laundry's a sucker, but I'm gonna go have a shower and then yeah, crack on with meal 1. So I'll see you then.
Meal 1, same as it has been previously. Still 2 whole eggs, 120 grams of egg white, 60 grams of bread, which is normally sourdough, but this is white ciabatta sourdough because they didn't have my normal sourdough, which is very disappointing. And then 150 grams of no added sugar baked beans. Consistency is king. Like, this has been very consistent since the start of prep. Even in my off season, it was pretty consistent. But you can mess around with sort of how you prepare it, whether the eggs are boiled, poached, fried, scrambled, egg whites in an omelette with other stuff. Like, learn to create some variety in your meals whilst keeping the ingredients pretty much the same. And that just comes with time, and otherwise you'll just get so bored of what you're eating, and that's when things start to go out the window. But yeah, I'm going to crack on with this, and then I'll probably catch up with you later. I don't really have a plan for this video. Just thought, I haven't done something this week, I might as well pick this up and start talking. But yeah, we'll see where the day takes us, and if there's anything worth talking about. So this is my pre-workout meal. It's changed a little bit, I think, since probably the last time I did a full day of eating, and where I actually talked about my food. So I think the amount of rice has actually come down. So it was probably about 250. Now we're at 235 grams of rice. Still have cucumber, and I still have my pickles, which is flipping awesome. I mean, they're very low calorie food, so it's not as if they're going to come out sort of anytime soon. But I definitely think that they have made a difference in terms of hunger and sort of providing freshness to my food. As I am just going to bung this in the microwave because I've got stuff to do and I want to get on with sort of the rest of the day. Don't get me wrong, I do like when I have time to prepare it a little bit nicer. It's very marginal differences though in terms of whether you heat it in a pan or you heat it in the microwave. So it's not as if it's the end of the world, but yeah, these things definitely influence sort of how fresh the food feels and sort of like the varying textures. But I have tried to steer away from doing too much sort of high volume foods too early on. So things like having a lot of lettuce or a lot of veg. I think even things like having a lot of potato meals as opposed to rice meals, because I know that I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to be really, really hungry as opposed to just kind of hungry where I am at now. So instead of trying to like just maximize the amount of food I'm actually eating, even though it's probably not, well, it won't be any more calories, I am trying to conserve some of that stuff, like little hacks, and trying to like build up. I don't know. Build up to the point where like I'm sub 2,000 calories and I'm really trying to push it. So that's when things like diet, fizzy drinks like Diet Cokes, it probably even more water, salads, additional sort of like veggies, and then something that I really enjoyed in my like previous mini cut with Finn was Ninja Creamies. Like those ice creams, they are ridiculous. Like that's probably one of 3 or 4 actual like investments that I think are actually ridiculously good. So obviously a rice cooker is a lifesaver. An air fryer is an absolute go-to. Ninja Creamy, just because all you have to do is put water and whey or milk and whey. If you have the luxury and calories, you bung it in the freezer for a day, bring it out, whips it up, and it genuinely is just like having an ice cream. So that's a definite hack. And then the last one, which I actually had bought during prep, is this, which is just like it's literally just like a food dicer, and like that has been a lifesaver, especially for like my potato meals, because like don't get me wrong, I like that meal, but spending an additional sort of like 20 minutes just cutting up potatoes is pretty tedious. So that's something that I've really enjoyed, just being able to do that. I was meant to talk while preparing the food, but I just ended up talking. So 235 grams of cooked sushi rice, 130 grams of cooked 5% beef. Like I said, I'm just going to bung this in the microwave for 2 minutes, give it a quick stir, and then do another minute just to make sure I don't food poison myself. That's something that you really want to avoid in prep. The amount of times I've heard of people getting food poisoning during prep seems ridiculous. Because they're clearly people who cook their food all the time and maybe just weren't as careful that one time. Something that I'm sort of going into being quite conscious of is that not to get lazy about the food, and taking pride in what you eat is really important, and sort of how you present your food and all of it really. So while make everything as convenient as possible, I also do try and take pride and enjoyment in how I prepare my food, and then also just what I prepare. So it does look pretty appetizing. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's not Michelin star stuff, but it's a good amount of colour, good amount of varied consistencies, and like it's a big bulk, to be fair, for what is 600 calories. So yeah, I'm more than happy with that, and yeah, I'm gonna crack on with this. This is actually one of the nicest flavoured pre-workouts I've ever consumed. I don't even like peach or mango, but this peach mango is delicious. So yeah, that's a go-to. Moderate caffeine. It just tastes really nice. Gets me in the right sort of headspace to go to the gym. And then, of course, I'll have some EAAs intra as well. But a bit of a prep update. So 73.8 kilos this morning, which is a new low of prep. I think the lowest I got in my mini cut with Finn was 72. So it'd be pretty cool to see the comparison between the weights then and how the look has evolved since then. So that would be quite cool when that time comes. I did just have my check-in with Finn. It's always kind of dreaded just because you don't know what's going to come up. So food is coming down, which is sad, obviously. Proteins come down to 220, and then carbs is now at 330 when it was at 360. having started at 700 is starting to feel quite sad. And then fats have been reduced to 47 grams. So overall, a fair decrease. I think it's nearly 200 calories a day sort of come down. And then posing's increased as well to 3 rounds on a rest day, which equates to about 10 minutes, and then 2 rounds on a training day, whereas it was 1 and 2 beforehand. So that's going to be interesting. To be fair, my posing needs so much work that's good anyway, both from additional expenditure and then also just getting as much practice in as possible. So I'm more than happy with sort of how that is. And then yeah, that's pretty much the main chunk of the check-in. But it's nice to have hit a new low. I mean, it's about 0.8 of a kilo down from where I was last week, on this day last week. So it's pretty close to that 1%, but not quite. So that's why the changes have come into effect. But to be fair, I've only had the 3 cardio sessions of increased cardio between my last check-in and this one. So seeing that having had already taken effect is pretty good, and hopefully it just keeps that ball rolling. The look is okay. I'm not over the moon with it, but I'm not unhappy about it. It's one of those things that as time goes on, you get less happy about it. But it's cool that new details are coming in, specifically like looking at sort of chest veins and things like that, which I've seen before, but never quite as bulbous as they are now. So that's cool. And then, like I said, on the leg day, like there's definitely changes there coming into effect with increased vascularity and just general detail of my quads, which is cool. I've got a pull day now. This is kind of like my meh sort of session of the week. I don't really, it's not like a session that I love, but then to be fair, I love pretty much every other session. It's not a bad session, it's my least exciting session, so hopefully I can go in and bring some energy that I feel like I'm kind of lacking, hence why the caffeine. But yeah, hopefully I can go in and do some good work, and then we'll come out and see where we are at. That's definitely enough talking for now, and I'll see you at the gym.
Wait. 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 Come on, man. I'd say 10.5. So a rep and a half up. I really like the alignment on that, much more than on what I was doing at the other gym. I feel like I can just tuck much better, which is ideal. Okay, so something I want to touch on there is stop searching for everything to be optimal. Like, sure, I could do like a chest supported row or a cable row, whatever it is. But I believe you need to look flipping heavy, and it doesn't get much heavier than a barbell row or a single arm dumbbell row. Like, you need big compounds in to build density. And I know my body weight is dropping. I mean, I'm nearly 10 kilos down from like the start of prep, but I'm not taking that out. I'm not taking it any differently. Like, I want to hold on to 3 plates before I row until I get to 70 kilos. But a double body weight row during a prep sounds flipping awesome to me. So that's what I want. Won't happen because it's already looking very sloppy. To be fair, it looked better than it did last week. Finn asked me to try and clean it up a bit, so I did, believe it or not. So still, yeah, buddy rows, but that's what is going to build muscle, like, or at least retain muscle, is lifting, flipping heavy things. I look up to people like Branch Warren, trained by JP, people that just lift with a ridiculous intensity. Ronnie, like, people just train flipping hard. Tom Platt, like, just go on YouTube and watch people flipping rip it. I'm nowhere near that, but I'm pushing towards trying to just lift as heavy as I can whilst not injuring myself. Because don't get me wrong, I could try and put 150 on there and make it look even uglier and get even less out of it. But I think that's a good middle point. Nowhere near optimal. Nowhere near. But definitely effective. So stop searching for oh, I have to have this lined up at this exact angle. It's rubbish. So if you look up to science-based lifters and that's how you want to train, go for it. But any form policeman, just fuck off, you know? You need to lift heavy. And if you're a newer lifter, like, don't let it get as sloppy as I did, but just learn to train these movements really hard. That's it. Progress these, rinse them out, and then when they're not, slightly change it. Do a pendulum instead of bent over. Like, just alternate a little bit, add a pause in, do whatever. But anyway, that's my like therapy rows done for the day. I'm now going to do some more like bodybuilding, a little bit more optimal. So yeah, we'll do a pause back off, or a slight pause in the stretch. And that's how I find a balance between like lifting heavy and lifting more effective. Just split it into 2 sets. But yeah, that was fun. Now moving on to boring shit. Right. That's up from last week. We're at work with a lap bias row. I really like this machine. The only problem is well, it's not a problem. Something I've realised I have to do is actually rotate my body a little bit. It helps me bias my lat a little bit better. But to be honest, it's because this is going to cock around with my leg. So instead, just like lean into it. I try and think about like opening my scap a bit more than I normally would, which actually feels really good. So yeah, we'll go for it. Yeah. Right. Right. I finally feel like I'm lean enough to wear a tank for a little bit. I'm sure it'll just be this one set and then I'll put my oversized shirt back on. Oh, yeah. Oh. 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 Wow. Fuck, yeah. Whew. This bit of kit's flipping fun to use. So, top pin is, it means it's heaviest at the stretch, so heaviest at the top, and then it drops off as it comes up. So I have it, it's a 3-to-1 ratio, so 4 plates and then 1.25 plates in the middle, or 1.75 plates in the middle. Feels good. Ooh. 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 Yes, come on. Oh yeah, much better than last week. Last week I got stuck at 7. That was 8, and it was much better execution. Right, the main cues to make it more upper back focused as opposed to lat focused. So literally just leaning back. So I almost like squish myself as much as possible in here, kind of the point where I'm squishing my bits, and then lean back and think about pulling my shoulder blades together. But something that's really underrated with back training is people just do exercises. They're like, oh, I'll do a lat pull down, not knowing what they're actually trying to target. They just think, oh, I see people pull this bar downward, and I hope I grow a back like that. Know why you're doing something. It's the same with all things, but I think especially with back training, people sort of just go in and do movements without sort of any intention behind it. So know why you're doing it. It's really simple. Well, I know I need a bigger upper back and a bigger mid back, bigger lats. I need bigger everything, but I know that this is a really good way of targeting that. And fair credit to Finn, like, he's helped me clean this up a hell of a lot. I used to be very forearm dominant here, which meant that I got bugger all out of it in terms of actual back development, partly because I just did it without any intention, especially with like a long bar. Yeah, so know why you're doing shit. So first set mixed, mid and lengthened. Now it's all in the lengthened. So it should drop off and I should get about the same amount of reps, which is fun. But we'll see what happens now. So something that's really nice about that being there is I can grind those last few out. Whereas if it wasn't dropping off, I would just fail in the middle. That's nice. Why, fuck. Alright guys, that was really good. Actually, really enjoyed that. I was in there way too long, but that's what happens when you start socialising and actually enjoying yourself in the gym. I was just over 2.5 hours, which is absurd, honestly, for what I did. But to be honest, I kind of felt like I needed to get away from some stuff and really just go to the gym and think about training. But now back to reality, back to life. Plan is go home, eat some food. I'm not sure whether I'll pick this up again, but I just wanted to say that was actually a really nice session. Chin-ups, progression, both sets. Rows, much better than last week, felt pretty good. Actually connected really well with my back. Sometimes when you're a bit looser, you can get into the habit of losing connection, and especially when you're trying to force it a bit too much. Whereas today I felt like I found the balance between forcing reps and actually like just fucking rowing. I try not to I literally go in and think, I'm not going to think, I'm just going to row. My warm-up sets are where I think about my glutes firing, where the pressure is on my heels, like the amount of tension in my hamstrings. Like that's what the warm-ups are for. And then when I get into my working set, I'm not thinking, I'm literally just go. And I try and do that with all of my sort of heavy stuff, whether that's like pressing, squatting, leg press, rows, RDLs. Like my warm-ups are there to get me to think about what I'm doing, and then once I'm in my set, I'm in my set. I'm not thinking, okay, I need to have my knees perfectly aligned. If I do that, then I've failed my warm-ups. My warm-ups have failed my top set. So yeah, really enjoying that lat bars row. Went a bit ego-y on the first set, but really connected with them. And then in my back off set was flipping class. Actually, felt really good. I'm getting more and more used to that. And something that's really cool is, as like when you introduce a new movement, you're gonna just start progressing because you're getting used to the machine. You're getting used to how it functions, how you function within the machine, and you're just going to skyrocket. So that's something that's nice about changing gyms as well. And I'm still really feeling the build up of that, which is awesome. So week on week, I'm adding pretty much. I'm just going down the stack by pin and matching reps, which is flipping cool. And then the pull down, perfectly placed, perfectly loaded for where it is within the session. And then arms was okay. Like it's not great at this point in terms of energy towards the end of a session, especially when the session's so long. So yeah, like I said, plan to go home. I've started my new module. For those of you interested in the master's side of my channel, I am studying Essentials of Marketing, I think is the title of it. I'm actually enjoying it so far, so that's ideal. Only 2 days in. I mean, it started the day my last essay was due for my last module. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind, but it doesn't take a lot to catch up. It's just a lot of reading. So that's on the agenda. get some work done, and then hopefully chill out for a bit and get a good night's sleep.
Oh my word. This looks delicious actually. Shit. It's just like a chocolate delight. See, that's the reason why whey is nice. And that's why you find people really go more for whey than any other protein option during a contest prep. So that is so tasty. Because you crave sweetness, you crave flavour, and not being funny, but the flavour of this compared to the flavour of chicken, it's not really comparable, is it? I mean, don't get me wrong, I make some nice chicken, but I can't make it taste like chocolate.
Henry Pollock.
Crazy, man. I'm bloody glad that he's gone, but fuck, he's so young. For those of you who are wondering what the bloody hell that is the Lions tour coming up this summer. Just announced a team after much speculation. It's pretty bloody good. I mean, I'm only halfway through the forwards, but it's pretty exciting. The fact that 20-year-old Henry Pollock is going shows serious kahunas on part of the management, so that's pretty cool. Absolutely deserves to go as well. So he's going to be one hell of a player in the future. I mean, he's awesome now, so crazy to see where he goes. But yeah, just thought I'd share what my post-workout viewing is. But anyway, this is what post-workout looks like now. It's pretty much the same as what you saw in the last video, except from no honey. But it's nice. Hopefully it tastes decent. That's pretty much the only reduction in this meal, which is nice. The next two meals have more of a reduction, so you'll see that. We are now at meal number 4 for today. Very exciting. Chicken and rice, you know. Doesn't get any better than this. With a twist, of course, as with all things. There's a little twist. So, got some chicken that I just cooked in the air fryer yesterday. But I'm reheating it in the wok, because everything tastes better when it's in a wok. Don't know why, don't know how. Just trust me, you know. This is a good meal. It's a shame that I've had to manoeuvre it to the point where there's not an awful lot of substance to it. I'll say that. With the rice being diminished thanks to the changes earlier today. But it seems as if I'm running low on some chicken. I'm going to have to cook a bunch of chicken anyway later, as is the way. So that's 86. Again, more manoeuvring. It's not good. I hate doing that. So 86 grams of cooked chicken. What can I add? I'm just going to add some egg whites. Having looked back at some of the training clips, like there's a lot of good work and a lot of, okay work, but I think that's how training has to be. Like, nothing's going to look, not everything should look perfect, I don't think. As if it looks perfect, you're probably not training hard enough. Or at least that's if you're following sort of scientific measures of what perfect would be. So yeah, anyway, I don't really know why I started filming. I'll show you this meal once I've cooked it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, again, kimchi, really good for making food taste fresher, and a lot of flavour for not a lot of calories. So additionally really good for digestion. So that right there is 4 calories, and it's a decent amount of kimchi. No, it's a decent amount. You wouldn't really want much more than that, honestly, both for the bowel movements and the sort of intensity of flavour. So this is now come down from 150 grams of sushi rice cooked to 125 grams of sushi rice. Not great. Equates to 390 calories. And it actually, genuinely doesn't look that bad. I mentioned it earlier at one of my meals about different tools for dieting, and one of them is like the actual utensils you use. So things like little spoons, because there's less going in your mouth per bite. A smaller plate makes the food look bigger, so you feel like you're eating more, even though you've just eaten the same amount of food. So there's all these little things that I've sort of been trying to hold back on a little bit. But the only meal that I don't really is this, and I use chopsticks. Just because I quite enjoy using chopsticks, and it makes me eat my food slower, which means that it feels like I'm eating more. But like I said, a little bit of adaptation when it comes to egg whites in instead of 135 grams of cooked chicken breast. I only had 86, so manoeuvred a bit there, but that's not great on me. And then I'll add more chicken in later, but other than that, this meal's pretty spot on. So yeah, I'm going to chow down on this, get on with some work, and then see you in a bit. Final meal of a busy day, right? So chicken and potato, really, really nice meal. Not the simplest to make in how I make it, but there are definitely lazier ways of doing it that just aren't as nice. So I chop up my potato in my little thingy, wherever that's gone. No, I was right in front of me. In my little thingy. Chop that up into lovely little cubes. I then put it in ice water for about half an hour. Not sure why. I don't understand the science. Don't ask me. But it flipping works. And take it out, dry it off. Straight in the container. I'm then going to top it with some salt and some paprika. And then leave it in there for about half an hour, 25 minutes at 180. And then I'll do chicken in the top. I'll just cut it out with scissors like you've seen in previous videos, but I can't be asked to film that, so I'm not gonna. And then yeah, that's about it for the day. I'm flipping knackered. I've been busy since I've been back, trying to edit some stuff and then get some schoolwork done, and then also working with some people as well. It's been a day, a doozy of a day. So yeah, gonna crack on with this shit. I still have about 2,000 steps to do. Woohoo! Yeah. Well, that'll be easy. I'll just go out after this. It's good to get outside, get away from my phone and everything. I'll post some stuff and then yeah, I'll just chill out, honestly. So yeah, enough about that. Yes, it is toward the end of this day. I have completed all of my meals. Training was good. Done a fair amount of work. I've done some editing and some posting of things that I'm kind of happy with, not that happy with type thing. And then yeah, just finishing up my steps for the day. The chicken and potato meal that was a little bit smaller than normal was as delightful as ever, even if it was smaller. Had to make another adjustment as I ran out of blueberries. Poor planning, Thomas. But yeah, I've just had strawberries. Not a big, not a travesty, but hey, it could have been better. But yeah, trying to enjoy what is left of the evening. I haven't even showered yet after the gym. Disgusting big. Another successful day in the prep diary. Yeah, I can't complain too much. Feeling quite tired. Got legs tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to as ever. It's going to be a flipping taxing day, so I'll get back, have a hot shower, clean myself up, get a little bit of mobility work in, and then hopefully get a solid 8 hours of high quality sleep in my broken bed. Yeah! Alright guys, well, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's definitely not going to be a pleasure editing this because all of the clips are just so random and muddled that yeah, I don't really know what this video is going to be, but we'll figure it out along the way as we do. I'm trying to be pretty relaxed and just sort of enjoy the vlogging and the sharing of the journey, as opposed to being embarrassed by it, which, to be honest, I have felt embarrassed, not because it's going badly, which it is, but just because it's embarrassing walking around with a camera or a microphone at the gym, and you kind of feel like a bit of a douche. So yeah, that's me being vulnerable. Going for a different walk than I normally would in my evening walks because the sun is setting majestic over the shoulder, so I thought it'd be a decent shot. But I'm knackered. I'm pooper scoopered. And yeah. As always, like, comment, talk to me, tell me what you think, tell me what you hate, what you love. Well, this has been quite a ramble, so I am gonna sign off. Thank you very much for watching, if you made it this far, which I doubt many people did. But yes, as ever, it's been a delight to converse in a one-way format with our camera and you behind the screen. So thank you, and you have a great night. Whatever time of day it is right now, just have a great one of those. Yeah. Bye for now. Cheers, guys.